Hello everyone, and welcome to Rock Studios. I'm Stan Miller. I'm PR and Analyst Relations Manager for Rockwell Automation in the EMEA region. And I'm joined today by Andy Morgan. He is Director at Firstco. Andy, welcome to the studio.
Thanks, Stan. Thanks. Good to be here.
So, Andy, today we're here to talk a little bit about empowering the green transition and how industrial control and visualization technologies can drive smart carbon offset solutions. I love this topic. I can't wait. But before we get into it, could you tell us a little bit about your company?
Sure. So I'm a director of Firstco in the UK. We're London-based. We're a Gold Rockwell partner, and we've been working in mass transit, infrastructure, critical national infrastructure for over 25 years. So we work in the likes of airport infrastructure at Heathrow near London, with mass transit like railways and Metro Underground Railway, and also in anything of critical importance like data centers, power distribution, energy generation, that sort of thing.
Excellent. You guys are working on so many interesting projects. I can't wait for you to share your thought leadership in this topic. Let's get into it. To start, how do you see industrial control and visualization technologies shaping the future of carbon offset projects and sustainable urban infrastructure?
Sure. So the thing with the effective sustainable projects is not these big megalithic projects. It's a vast network of sort of small distributed interventions, from like microgeneration, microgrids, effective energy distribution and energy storage, through to real optimized interventions right at the point of use. So what you have is a network of quite distributed, quite small, quite codependent, interrelated initiatives. And to make that work, you really need to leverage effective control, effective visualization. These things can be quite remotely located, usually quite in inaccessible places. So they need to be able to operate in an autonomous manner. To make the financial and the technical viability, usually means it needs to be leveraging control technologies to make sure that it's working optimally, right? These can be quite complex solutions, a lot multivariable, a lot of interrelated solutions, and you need to really leverage the intelligence of some of these control technologies to make it work. And also, with the distributed nature of these things, having a secure, reliable operational telecoms network allows them to be monitored and managed efficiently. So we work with a provider of battery energy storage solutions. They're building facilities in some really inaccessible parts of the UK, right, where the intervention is needed, where the power generation is sited. And to make this work, they need to be unmanned, they need to be autonomous, they need to be connected, and we're using this technology to provide a sort of virtual control room in the cloud that gives them like a national operational center, leveraging the sort of technologies we see here.
Fabulous. I'm intrigued to learn more. Okay, so let me ask, can you share an example of some tangible outcomes, whether it's reduced emissions, improved air quality, or lower energy costs that have resulted from deploying some of these smart industrial technologies that you've been discussing? Yeah,
there's some great examples. There's one I'm quite proud of is there's a provider of air traffic control services we work with, who have a critical operational center, a critical building, and we work with them to in their power distribution and their power management, and making sure they've got that security of supply. And in the last year, they've deployed a huge solar generation array, right? And we've helped them integrate that into their building management systems. And it's quite a significant amount of power generated that at peak times they go completely self-sufficient, or even become a net exporter of like really good quality clean energy. And of course, as well as significant cost savings on energy, it helps them meet their sustainability targets. But also it's an operational benefit in terms of improving their security of energy supply. It reduces their reliance on third-party suppliers, It reduces the likelihood of running backup generators, and so it's providing a cost, a sustainable, and an operational benefit. It's a fantastic initiative.
What a great project. Andy, how important are cross-sector partnerships and long-term collaboration in driving innovation and continuous improvement in these kind of projects?
So these collaborations are vital. When you've got a sort of network of initiatives, they don't really stack up on their own, and they all sort of work together. You need to have effective clean power generation. You need good storage. These companies all work together. We've worked in London with the Underground Railway, in helping their ventilation. So there's a great case study where for many years we've helped them improve the passenger experience by providing air ventilation, clean air in, but also exhausting waste heat, basically, just up into the atmosphere, just to help sort of cool the tunnels. We also work with sort of a local government partner who were building a district heating scheme in the city, providing good clean energy to schools and a hospital and some local homes. And they had a number of generation assets and ideas there, but one of them was they sited a heat pump in an energy centre directly on top of one of the underground ventilation shafts. So they're using the heat pump to capture this otherwise waste heat, turn it into good clean energy, and distribute that to the local area.
Yeah, I love that project because I've been stuck in the tube in a full suit, sweating, thinking there's got to be a way to cool this place down. And the way that project leverages that heat in a sustainable way really resonated with me as someone who's down in London all the time.
Well, what they also gained by doing this is the benefit went both ways. So the local government benefited from the waste heat, but what they also had is a solution that would reverse the flow of the air. So they're using the heat pump to pre-cool air to inject back down into the tunnels. So instead of just ventilating heat, they've actually got active air conditioning going into the tunnels. So this is where this collaboration goes both ways, right? That both parties benefited from working together to deliver these things.
It's fantastic. All right, let's talk a little bit about technology. You mentioned things like some autonomous operations, remote control in the control center in the cloud. I love that stuff. I want to get your perspective. What are the most exciting innovations in control system technology that are enabling smarter, greener energy solutions for communities and industries?
Yeah, we've seen some great stuff this week, and I think that the remote control rooms is a great example where for these solutions to work, we need a good, secure, reliable comms backbone. And we need to be able to deploy these things at scale. We need to be sort of work in these virtual control rooms. And it's fantastic to see the way Rockwell are investing in products like optics and secure OT and a few other things here, that they are the technology that enable us to provide that benefit to our customers. And using these things helps us turn these innovative ideas into really scalable solutions that actually move the needle, right? That actually sort of roll out and really make a difference.
Excellent. Andy, what excites you most about the future of industrial automation and powering smart, green, carbon offset projects, and what role do you see your organization playing in this evolving landscape?
So we talk a lot about the technologies, but I think there's a real people element to this too, and I think the thing that excites me most about the future is the role, right? We as a community of the solutions partners and Rockwell and the engineering community, the technology that underpins this is what really is going to make this work. So we have a real leadership role in enabling some of these interventions, in enabling clean technology. And I think it's technically rewarding, right? We're engineers. It's a technically rewarding thing to do. It's a great solution to be part of, but it's very socially worthwhile, right? It's a really rewarding work to be part of, and I think it's really exciting to think that we can lead the charge on this, that we can be at the forefront of part of this transition. And I think our role to play in that is something that really excites me.
Fabulous. And last question for you, what lessons learned have you learned and the team about scaling these technologies for broader adoption, and what advice would you give to other cities or organizations looking to launch similar projects?
So I think the scalability of it is the key. these pilot, there's plenty of pilot projects, there's plenty of innovative ideas, but we need to be able to roll these up. When you're talking about a distributed asset base, you need to be able to do these things a lot of times, right? With some of the projects we're working on with the Metro Rail and with the battery energy storage, it works on building a template and then rolling that template out at scale. And I think the key to making this work is to make sure that is a scalable solution. So it's looking for the repeatability of the solution, the standardization of the technology, and doing that in a modular way that enables these projects to be rapidly deployed at true scale to make a difference.
What I love about this discussion is that you've really backed up your thought leadership with tangible examples that are so interesting. Thank you so much for joining us in the studio today, and congratulations to you and the entire team for that gold status, recent gold status in the partner network.
Yeah, it's been a great week to come out and receive that award, and thank you very much for having me here. I've really enjoyed it.
And thank you for watching. If you'd like to learn more about industrial automation and digital transformation and the future of industrial operations, visit rockwellautomation.com.